Hadith number 4, very important hadith. عن القضاء والقدر. عن أبي عبد الرحمن عبد الله بن مسعود. We're going to need 10 minutes for this one. عن أبي عبد الرحمن عبد الله بن مسعود رضي الله عنه قال حدثنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو الصادق المصدوق. Before even telling you what the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, Ibn Mas'ud, he says what? وهو الصادق المصدوق. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, and he is the most truthful and he is the believed. Don't you forget, before I tell you what he said, don't forget, the Prophet is the most truthful and he is believed in everything that he says. And then why did he say that? Because he's about to talk about umur al-ghayb, things that are unseen, things that are unfathomable to the Sahaba. Nowadays in 2026 with our technology, we know what's being said and we can affirm what's being said. And this is one of the proofs that Islam is the truth, one of the millions of proofs. So he said, Inna ahadakum, the Prophet said, Inna ahadakum yujma'u khalquhu fi batni ummihi 40 yawma. The creation of one of you is gathered in the womb of his mother for 40 days. It doesn't say it in this hadith, but as a nutfa. As a what? Nutfa. As a drop of semen leaching onto the womb of your mother for 40 days. ثم يكون علقة مثل ذلك. Then you become a alaqa for a like term. And for another 40 days, you're a alaqa, a thick clot of blood. ثم يكون مضغة مثل ذلك. And then you become a morsel of flesh. Mudgha literally means a bite size. When you bite something, subhanAllah, if you look at the embryo, it's the size of a bite size and it looks like something you bit. It looks like it has like a piece of gum that was chewed. So the Prophet called it a mudgha. And then you become a mudgha, a morsel of flesh for 40 days. How many days is that so far? 40 times 3? 120 days. What happens after 120 days? ثم يرسل إليه الملك. Then an angel is sent to him. فينفخ فيه الروح. And the angel blows the soul into this fetus and he gives him life. So when is life? At what stage is there life in a baby? 120 days. Ahkam are built upon this. Ahkam. So whether or not you can have an abortion for whatever reason, after 120 days, there's ijma', there's no reason why a woman could get an abortion. The doctor says you're going to die. We say abortion is not halal. Because you're just assuming. You're just giving me a medical educated guess. You don't know ilm al-ghayb. How many times the doctor says you're going to die and you don't die? So now we're going to kill that baby for estimation? La. Before 120 days, mumkin. Also, if I get in a car accident, I hit a woman and she was pregnant. If it was before 120 days, I get charged with 1 murder. If it was after 120 days, I get charged with 2 murders. You killed 2 people. After 120 days, if there's a miscarriage, you give that baby a name and you do a janazah on that baby and you bury that baby. It has a life. Before 120 days, you don't do a janazah, you don't wash the baby, you don't give it a name, there's no life. So there's a lot of ahkam built on this. So after 120 days, فَيَنْفُخُ فِيهِ الرُّوح. The soul is blown into the fetus. And how does the Prophet know that? That it's a clot of blood, and then a mudgha, and then as the ayat of the Quran are even in more detail, then it becomes bones, and then the bones are dressed with flesh. How does the Prophet know that? Except that it's revelation from Allah. وَيُؤْمَرُ بِأَرْبَعِ كَلِمَاتٍ. The angel is commanded with what? 4 words. Yani 4 matters. Kalimat here means what? Affairs or matters. بِكَتْبِ رِزْقِهِ. With the writing of his rizq. This is the qadar, the decree of Allah. How much rizq you're going to get. Money and wealth and who you're going to marry, how many children you're going to have. Rizq. Any kind of provisions. What his rizq is going to be. وَأَجَلِهِ. And how long his term is going to be. How long he's going to live. وَعَمَلِهِ. And the actions that he's going to do. وَشَقِيٌّ أَوْ سَعِيدٌ. And whether he's going to be shaqi, miserable, or sa'id, happy. Yani whether he's going to be destined for the hellfire or for Jannah. فَوَالَّذِي لَا إِلَهَ غَيْرُهُ. The Prophet ﷺ, he swore. فَوَالَّذِي لَا إِلَهَ غَيْرُهُ إِنَّ أَحَدَكُمْ لَيَعْمَلُ بِعَمِلِ أَهْلِ الْجَنَّةِ حَتَّى مَا يَكُونُ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَهَا إِلَّا ذِرَاعٌ فَيَسْبِقُ عَلَيْهِ الْكِتَابُ فَيَعْمَلُ بِعَمِلِ أَهْلِ النَّارِ فَيَدْخُلُهَا. One of you will do the actions of the people of Jannah until there's nothing between you and Jannah except the arm's reach. You can reach out and grab it. That's how close you are to Jannah. But then the kitab overtakes you. The decree of Allah overtakes you. And you start doing the actions of the people of the hellfire and you enter the hellfire. And the opposite is true. وإن أحدكم ليعمل بعمل أهل النار حتى ما يكون بينه وبينها إلا ذراع فيسبق عليه الكتاب فيعمل بعمل أهل الجنة فيدخلها. One of you do the actions of the people of the hellfire, and so there's nothing between you and the hellfire except the arm's reach. But then you start doing the actions of the people of Jannah, and you enter Jannah. رواه Bukhari wa Muslim. This hadith is Sahih in Bukhari and Muslim. What does that mean? How does a person do good deeds and then towards the end of his life, Allah misguides him? Didn't Allah say in the Quran, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُضِيعَ إِيمَانَكُمْ? Allah will not lose your iman. صح? Yani this is the people who they did a'mal their whole lives, ظاهرا, outwardly and openly. And there's no one who does actions ظاهرا وباطنا لله, and then Allah at the end of his life would misguide him and give him this kind of سوء الخاتمة. لا أبدا. The real meaning of this hadith is, as one of the brothers mentioned, the other hadith, where the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالِ بِالْخَوَاتِيمِ. Actions are by their endings. That's what you learn in this hadith. Just because you pray in today, you memorize the Quran today, you fast in today, don't get comfortable. You don't know when you're going to die and what you're going to believe before you die. لا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Don't die except while you're still Muslim. داوموا على الإيمان وعلى الإحسان وعلى العبادة حتى يأتيكم الموت. That's the meaning. Keep worshiping Allah until you die. So don't feel comfortable or boastful or think you're guaranteed Jannah. You didn't die yet. That's the meaning of the hadith. And vice versa. Don't lose hope. If you're sinning, if you're not praying, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you didn't die yet. So don't lose hope. So this hadith is a beautiful balance between fear and hope. And we talked in our many classes about the importance of having both. Like we said, ما في أحد ظاهره وباطنه صالح ويختم له هذه الخاتمة. No one will have a good outward actions and good inwardly and be sincere, and he'll have this type of evil ending. As the Salaf, they used to say, الخواتيم ميراث السوابق. The endings are inherited by what preceded. Yani the way you live your life is the way, and that's what the ulama they say too. من عاش على شيء مات عليه ومن مات على شيء بعث عليه. Whoever lives on a thing will die on that thing, and whoever dies on something will be resurrected according to that thing. No way you're going to be doing good actions your whole life and randomly for no reason Allah just misguides you. La, that's not the meaning of the hadith. But there is things we need to talk about the qadr in this hadith. Write this down. We got to take it fast. How many minutes we got?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. We have 4 levels of qadr and we have 4 times of qadr. If you understand these, bi'idhnillah, you'll never get confused about the qadr. And other than this, we can't go into more detail on qadr. Look to our other classes. We explained it in Ubudiyya in detail. Maratibul qadr arba'a. The levels of qadr are 4. It is ilmullah, the knowledge of Allah, of everything that's going to happen. Allah's knowledge. Allah knows everything that's going to happen before it happens. Ilmihi. Number 2, katbihi, that He wrote it down. Fil lawh al-mahfuz, in the preserved tablet. قبل 50,000 سنة, 50,000 years before the creations of the heavens and the earth, Allah wrote everything down. وَمَشِيئَتِهِ, number 3, Allah wills things. Allah permits them, He allows them to happen. Nothing happens except by the will of Allah. Allah has to allow it. That's number 3. And side note, not everything that Allah allows means Allah loves that thing. Not everything Allah allows means He loves it. Allah allows kufr and disbelief and killing and slaughter out of a hikmah, out of a wisdom, out of a greater good. But it doesn't mean He loves that thing. And the final one is khalqihi, that Allah is the one who created your actions. Allah is the one who brings them into existence. This is maratib al-qadr. This is the qadr of Allah. This is the qadr of Allah. But how does the qadr change then? If it's the knowledge of Allah and it's 50,000 years before creation, why is the angel just getting this information now at the time of your birth? How does the dua change the qadr? Why is Laylatul Qadr called Laylatul Qadr, and what does that mean? The times of qadr are 4. There's 4 different times of qadr. The first is al-qadr al-azali, the eternal qadr. Al-qadr al-azali, that's the one that fil lawh al-mahfuz. That is the ilm of Allah. Does that ever change? La. Nothing can escape the knowledge of Allah. And whatever happened on whatever Allah wrote in the lawh al-mahfuz is definitely going to happen. Al-qadr al-azali, the eternal qadr. And then you have al-qadr al-umri, the qadr that happens once in your lifetime. When does that happen? You guys know a hadith about that? The qadr that happens once in your lifetime? Nobody in this masjid. We just took it, this hadith. This hadith is the qadr that happens once in your lifetime, where the angel, he comes after 120 days and he what? وَيُؤْمَرُ بِأَرْبَعِ كَلِمَاتٍ بِكَتْبِ رِزْقِهِ وَأَجْلِهِ وَعَمَلِهِ وَشَقِيٌّ وَسَعِيدٌ. That's the qadr that the angel is given. Does the angel know ilm al-ghayb? Knowledge of the unseen, the future? No. So can whatever is decreed there change? Yes. That's the one that dua changes the qadr. Every Ramadan Allah frees people from the hellfire. The third is Laylatul Qadr, the night of Qadr. That's one of the reasons why we're up in dua and qiyam and asking and begging Allah, because this is where the decree of the rest of the year is decided, during this time. And the malaika, they go out with the aqdar and they start doing the commands of the qadr. And then the last is al-qadr al-yawmi. Every single day Allah said in the Quran, وَكُلَّ يَوْمٍ هُوَ فِي شَأْنٍ. And every single one of these has daleel, and we don't have time for it. And then one important topic that we're not talking about now, but put it on your radar, is to resist the qadr and never use the qadr as an excuse. Whatever you do is going to be qadr. No one says, astaslim al-qadr, I'm just going to submit. Allah's decreed for me to be poor, I'm not going to go out and work. La. None of us do that. We fight the qadr with the qadr. Anything you're going to do is the qadr. The man, he stole. Umar ibn Khattab said, why did you steal? He said, إِنَّمَا سَرَقْتُ بِقَدْرِ اللَّهِ. I only stole with the qadr of Allah. He said, Naam, okay, no problem. We're going to cut your hand off with the qadr of Allah as well. Sahih Allah. When the Sahaba, he said, Ya Umar, firaran min qadr Allah. There was a plague. Umar was turning back. He said, are you running away from the qadr of Allah? He said, yes. From the qadr of Allah to the qadr of Allah.